25 years after becoming a box office hit and drumming up a lot of controversy, Kevin Smith's Dogma is back with a passion as it returns to theaters for its anniversary. The movie, written and directed by Smith as the fourth installment in his View Askew universe, revolves around a woman who, upon learning she is the last scion, is tasked with stopping two fallen angels from attempting to use a loophole in Catholicism to get back into heaven, which would undo all creation. Dogma had a star-studded ensemble cast including Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Linda Fiorentino, Chris Rock, Jason Lee, and Alan Rickman, among others. While being a hit at the time of its release, Dogma has enjoyed something of an infamous life cycle in the years since, as it's been out of print on home media for nearly 2 decades, the last print being a Blu-ray released in 2008, and being unavailable on streaming and digital platforms. As Smith has previously explained, Bob and Harvey Weinstein kept the rights close to their vest, even after the filmmaker made multiple offers to reacquire them. Now, with the help of iconic events, Smith has Dogma's rights back and is bringing the movie back to theaters. In honor of the movie's re-release, Screen Rant interviewed Kevin Smith to discuss Dogma. The writer, director and star reflected on his decades-long journey to get the rights to the movie back from Weinstein, including why he was turned down multiple times by the convicted criminal, how Alessandra Williams and iconic events helped in his efforts and expanded his plans for its re-release, as well as a progress update on the movie's sequel and new home release. Smith was turned down by Weinstein multiple times. Wrote 3 letters to a convicted rapist. While he's always held a desire to reacquire the film, Smith first made a serious push to get Dogma back in 2020, when Weinstein was arrested and convicted on 3 counts of rape. The filmmaker wrote 3 letters to a convicted rapist and made 3 offers to get the movie's rights back, beginning with $250,000 before increasing to $500,000, while the third required him to collect some effing extra funding from people, because I ain't rich, raising it to $1 million, all 3 of which Weinstein turned down. As Smith recalls, it was the third offer in which Weinstein's lawyer finally gave him some proper information about the movie's rights, telling the filmmaker, "You're not close, he wants $5 million. At this point, Smith considered his efforts dead, recalling saying to someone, "Look, if I had $5 million, I'd make a new movie, FK buying an old movie, as much as I love it." However, in spite of these rejections, Smith would later find a hero in Alessandra Williams, a fellow filmmaker and actor, who saw me talking about how I tried to get it back, and got inspired as she had grown up watching it and is from my neck of the woods, with their high schools being a few miles from one another. As shared by Smith, Williams told him, "I thought it was funny, but I didn't understand it, so I kept watching it, and when she saw Smith discussing his efforts, she felt people should see that movie." Along with luck and timing, Williams subsequently got involved in Smith's campaign to rescue Dogma from Weinstein, raising money and approaching the former producer's lawyer when he needed money, as he went back into court and needed more effing legal funds. Smith's 1999 comedy wasn't the only one she purchased, either, as he revealed Williams bought a tranche of movies from Weinstein, including some karate movies, Michael Moore's Fahrenheit 9/11 and Larry Clark's infamous cult classic, Kids. She sold them off, and then kept Dogma, and she was like, "What would you do with it?" Smith shared. Smith humorously admits to being a limited dreamer, explaining to both Williams and us that his dream for Dogma has always been to take it out on tour, much like he has done with his past few movies. Jay and Silent Bob Reboot was a fantastic 65-city tour for us, Smith explained. Clark's 3 was a 50-city tour. I was like, the model is, basically, I overcharge people to see old movies I made that they like, and it seems to work out. This led to Williams opening Smith's eyes to the possibility of taking the re-release a step further and put it in regular theaters, to which he didn't think anybody's interested in that sort of ST, and admitting I was effing wrong when he saw the outpour of support for Dogma to return to theaters. Smith went on to praise Williams as being a magical manifester, being wowed by getting to put the movie back on 1,500, 2,000 screens across a bunch of different theaters nationwide. While there was once a time when Smith never had a sequel in mind, particularly as he had more ideas than I can effing get to in a lifetime, including Clark's 3 and the long-gestating Mallrats 2, the writer-director is now ready for a Dogma follow-up. Having already been intrigued by the prospect of doing so, Smith recalls Williams also giving him some fuel by expressing her desire to see a follow-up. "So now, in a world where I'm open to sequels and ST, and she's got the one back that I've never really FD with, and perhaps a bunch of people in the audience are like, yes, and there's a good reason you shouldn't do that," Smith said with a chuckle. "But now I do, and so I do want to assure those cats who love Dogma that are like, oh, he's gonna effing ruin it, and, I saw Clark's 3, FK him. I can't effing afford to ruin a Dogma spin-off." Too many people effing love this movie, so I can't make that same movie again. Part of why Smith feels he needs to take a new approach to the Dogma sequel is that I don't have the same faith as he did when writing the original, just like the quote in the film, I don't believe like that anymore. He does, however, assure that he has some pretty good ideas and is currently in the process of writing the script, sharing that what it lacks in the faith that powered that first one, it makes up for in pure cleverness, and that the tour has been helpful for him in shaping the script. Dogma is getting a fat effing steelbook. Smith also used to get crafty to rewatch the film. Ben Affleck and Matt Damon in an airport in Dogma. As previously confirmed by the filmmaker, Dogma will get a proper new home media release after being out of print for nearly 2 decades, though as Smith shared with us, it will also be getting a fat effing steelbook. Eagerly explaining that he and his team are working with a company that believes in physical media still, Smith expressed his excitement that both he and fans will be able to own a physical copy and replace the beautiful 2008 Blu-ray. In addition to revealing that was the version he watched for 10 years, Smith also shared that he'd turned to YouTube for a specific rip of the film, as somebody copied Dogma from the Blu-ray and uploaded it as a 4K version. Now, though, we'll have a new version of the film to get to watch, though didn't share a timeline of when to expect that.